What is up, Misfits and Moonbasers? It's your boy Ray Recall coming at you with another video review, and today we're going to be looking at something that I literally just picked up today. If you're familiar with how Netflix is about to come out with the War for Cybertron trilogy, well, you also might be aware that they have released a few War for Cybertron figures, specifically for the series. So today we're going to be looking at something that we've kind of looked at in the past with the Seeker review, but this is a little bit extra flavor to it. So today we're going to be looking at the Transformers Generations War for Cybertron 3-pack of Decepticons Hotlink, I believe Heatstroke, and Heartburn. And yes, those are the names. As you can see on the back, Heatstroke and Heartburn. I know they both look exactly the same, but if you look very closely, Heatstroke has an orange visor and Heartburn has a yellow one. So they're different. But yeah, we're just going to take a quick look at this. Just a quick run through. Something to be a little bit of a filler since there hasn't been a review this past week, but let's go ahead and get this guy, or these guys, out of the box and take a look at what we got. And here we have Hotlink in his vehicle mode. Now, as you can see, he is very clearly a War for Cybertron Siege Seeker mold. Very obviously the Tetrajet with the super elongated nose cone and pretty much just a folded up robot underneath. And for those who are not in the know, this is not Skywarp, because Skywarp came with a like 4-pack with like 4 Battle Master, or like 3 Battle Masters in a I believe it was an Amazon exclusive. And Hotlink, even though he is a purple Seeker, is not Skywarp, because much like how Ion Storm is not Thundercracker, this guy is well, he's not really a Rainmaker. He's not really one of the original 3. He's just one of the he's just one of those background Seekers. I think in the G1 cartoon he had like a flamethrower or something like that, which is probably why they named him Hotlink years later. Probably why he's got 2 heat-based target masters. Looking in the instruction, I don't see that these guys have any specific technical name for their alt modes, for their gun modes, but you know, I'm guessing that they're like flamethrowers or something like that, because that would just work with Hotlink. So yeah, so take a close look at Hotlink real quick. Now, as you can see, his paint deco is quite different from the other Seekers in that he doesn't have the Seeker splotching of battle damage. Instead, his battle damage, and you'll see it more in robot mode, but it's very subtle. You have some slight scoring here. Sorry about that. Some slight scoring here on the nose cone. There we go, much clearer. Some slight scoring here on the nose cone, and some slight airbrushed effects with these blacker areas of the wings, so that it looks like, even though they're kind of similar, it looks more like scorch damage instead of it being like specifically painted to be black. You can also get some scorch damage right along that area of the near the cockpit section. And then, as you can see, the back's also painted asymmetrically because it's supposed to mimic battle damage. And we'll see more of that in the robot mode. Now, as for weapons, he does come with his 2 standard null rays, and you can either plug them in to the wings, or you can leave them plugged in to where they were or where they will be in robot mode on his shoulders, and they'll still stay underslung, which looks cool. And if you get those out of the way, he can technically use Heartburn and Heatstroke in vehicle mode, but they don't really want to stay tabbed into the wings too well, and if you try to use the shoulder ports, they're also pretty loose as well, but it's still doable. It's not as good a connection, but for vehicle mode, you just want to stick with his null rays. That looks best, in my opinion, anyway. Yeah, just like so. And as a quick comparison, here he is with an Earthrise Deluxe. And next to Siege Shockwave. Like so. Now, before we get into transformation for this guy, let's go ahead and take a look at the two Battle Masters. So we have Heatstroke and Heartburn, which, as far as I can tell, are just repaints of the blowpipe mold. And they're almost, in gun mode, they are exactly identical, even down to their blast effects, which again are from the blowpipe mold. And I know that on camera these look yellow. In hand, they're actually a very deep orange. So that's just my camera's light being weird. There you go. You kind of get a better look at how orange that is. And to transform these guys, super simple. Oh, just real quick, you got a 5mm port here, 5mm port here, and a 3mm peg with 3mm posts or ports. So you can take these guys and gunzooka them up, or have that going on. You can, they're pretty modular, but to transform them is super easy. You just untab the arms. There's a little tab right there that goes into the slot right there at the hip. Untab the heels from the gun. There's two tabs that are the heel spurs. They go into those two slots right there. Close up the waist, bring down the legs, split the legs, and then take the backpack and just flip it along the back. And there you go. So, real simple, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Just like that. So there you have Heartburn and Heatstroke, and just so you know, just so you can see, there we go. Heartburn is the one with the yellow visor. So, but as you can see, aside from that, their painting is painting mold sculpt is completely identical. There you go. You can take the backpack unit off and mount it on their arms, so you can have some gun, holding a gun action. This one, even on the blowpipe mold, they never really, the battle effects never really stuck well to the lower barrel. It just worked on the upper barrel for some reason. There you go. And there's a little tab that goes, into a slot on the gun, so it folds up. Nice as rice. And just for comparison, for these guys here, they are with a Micromaster and another War for Cybertron Battlemaster, except this one's Earthrise. So yeah. So, take these two out of the way, bring back Hotlink. I'll post a link to in the description down below to my my Seeker review. I think it was of Siege Starscream. That one has the transformation. And if you haven't seen it, then I highly suggest you go watch it, because you'll pretty much know everything there is to know about that mold from that video. I also did another video with the Rainmakers as well, just comparing some of the differences between the different Seekers. But this guy pretty much is the same mold as the Starscream and the Rainmakers, even all the way down to the head sculpt, and which we'll see in just a moment. But yeah, whenever one moment. Sorry about that. This guy gets pretty tall. What was I saying? Oh yeah. If you want to know all the ins and outs of this mold, basically you just need to see the Starscream review. He is basically that Starscream. I mean, they all pretty much are, but like Thundercracker had some improvements to it, specifically a completely brand new head sculpt. The Rainmakers, they did a little bit different with the chest piece. Didn't really pop out so much on those. But and it really sucks that I can't get my can't get the other Seekers out of storage right now, because that would be pretty awesome to have them all together. Finally have all 6 of the ones that well, Hotlink will make 6 of the ones that I own. So there you go. And here is Hotlink in his robot mode. As you can see, he is basically the exact same Seeker mold that, like I was just saying. A few things different though. Again, his wings do have a much better paint job. Inside his wings, he does have some of these orange details right here that are revealed in robot mode. Oh, I'm not sure if you were able to see it before though, but he actually does have a Decepticon symbol. Even though it's purple on purple, it's still very clear. And I don't know, but is it just me, or does that Decepticon symbol have some battle damage done to it? Let me see if the other one has this exact same battle damage. Yep. So the Decepticon, I just now noticed that the Decepticon symbols are tampoed with battle damage on them. You can also get a little bit of orange right there. And then for the rest of the body, you can really see where the Netflix versions of these characters all have a lot of like really premium paint jobs done to them. There's a lot of weathering here on the legs. Not so, the scorch marks are a little bit difficult to see on this figure because it's so dark anyway, but you can kind of see, like especially in the chest, how this area is a little bit more darker and scorched up. The scorching is done differently on each arm. So it's pretty good. And then he also has the very nice version of the head sculpt where they actually paint the face white, and then he has, I'm not sure how well it'll come off on camera, but he does have like amber light piped eyes. There we go. And it's not so much red as it is like this well I mean it is red, but it's not as deep red as the one that came with Starscream and the other Seekers. It's a little bit more orangish to it. Yeah. And then, of course, the articulation is the same. You know, ball-jointed head, 360 arms, in and out. Rotation, double bend at the elbow, rotation at the wrist, waist joint, Legs move forward and back, in and out. Knee with that little panel that can allow the super deep knee bend for transformation. Ankle tilt right there, as well as forward and backwards tilt on the feet. So he's pretty posable. Like I said, he's pretty much just the same as the Starscream. Except the one thing I noticed about this guy is that his joints are a lot tighter. Oh yeah, he also has a bit of a butterfly joint due to the transformation. Now, one thing I will say about Hotlink is that his tighter joints don't exactly fill me with a lot of confidence. Let me explain. I've heard some bad horror stories about the Siege Hound, the Netflix version of Siege Hound, and how the head ball joint was so tight that it actually shore off the ball joint whenever people were trying to use that articulation. So and it's not like the head just popped off the ball joint. They literally snapped the strut that the ball joint was attached to. And so that was kind of a red flag. I'm not sure if any of the other Siege figures have had that problem with the tightness of the joints being too tight, but that's just something that I'm gonna keep an eye on with this figure. Hopefully, it won't affect things too much. But I will keep you all posted if and when something does happen. Hopefully, it won't though. So, anyway, as you can see, he can dual wield his target masters pretty easily, and he does have storage ports on his. Well, he's a Siege figure, so he's got ports everywhere. He's got them on his wings, elbows, shins, bottom of his feet. He's got 3 of them in his backpack, so you can weaponizer this guy up, or leave him as is, or give him his dual guns. You got a lot of options, so there you have that. But that's pretty much all there is to say on the subject. Oh, almost forgot. Size comparison. Here he is with Siege Shockwave. So, as you can see, he's just a hair shorter than Shockwave is. There you go. So anyway, that'll pretty much do it for Hotlink. What now I did find this guy specifically at Walmart. I haven't seen any of the Netflix figures anywhere other than Walmart. But I did find him there today, so I picked him up. He's about $40, if I'm not mistaken. So just a little hair over the actual Voyager price point because of the 2 Battle Masters. As far as plastic quality, he feels real good. Doesn't feel loose or doesn't feel like he's about to fall apart. The only real issue that I've had with him is trying to get him into vehicle mode. His left wing, or I guess if you're like his vehicle mode right wing, this wing right here has a little bit of trouble staying tabbed in under the nose cone, because whenever you transform it, this tab right here goes under the nose cone that locks it into place. But once I got everything into position and like tabbed the wing into the arm, it all worked together just fine. The chest piece popped off once or twice when I was transforming him, but that was a problem that goes all the way back to the Starscream version of this mold. And honestly, the Starscream one popped off way more than this one ever did, so I can deal with it. The Battle Masters are good. Don't have any problems with them. And then, of course, if you missed out on Skywarp, to the untrained eye, this guy will fit perfectly in with your Seeker collection. So, if you're missing Skywarp, but you have Thundercracker and Starscream, Hotlink's a perfect stand-in. Or if you just want to get all the Seekers, even like Red Wing and all the other exclusive ones or whatever, then, you know, Hotlink will be perfect. He's a great army builder if you have a bunch of Seekers as well. So, but anyway, I think I'm just rambling on. So, yeah, would I recommend him? Personally, I would. He's a good, solid figure. Not really that expensive for what you're getting, honestly. And, you know, he rounds out your Seeker collection, like I said 1,000,001 times already. So, if you can find this guy, excellent. Pick him up. Make sure, however, that whenever you get him, because the good thing about the Netflix packaging is that it's clear. You can see what's in the box. That is a very good thing to know, because I have seen with my own eyes instances of this happening where the figure will not be the same as what it says on the box. For example, when I went to go pick up, or the first time I ever saw these Siege figures, I saw a Megatron, Siege Megatron. And he comes with two figures as well, two Battle Masters. He comes with Lionizer and then one of the... it's a remold of one of the... whatchamacallits? Firefight or something like that. However, when I looked in the box, the Megatron was a standard release Megatron, and the Target Master, not the Lionizer repaint, but the other one, looked like it was a third-party company Target Master or something like that. But I could tell because it had articulation in the elbows, and I had like ball-jointed elbows, and that's not what's official. So, as much as I hate to say it, people are buying the Netflix version, taking out the figures, swapping them with the basic standard issue versions, and then returning them back to stores. So be on the lookout for that whenever you're shopping. You know, this is just a friendly heads up. Make sure that whenever you pick up the box, you look inside, and the figure inside is what's being advertised, because you do not want to get ripped off. Because trust me, that's happened to me before. If you remember what happened with my Jetfire, or what happened in the Jetfire review, the story that I told you with that. So, but yeah. So if you can find Hotlink and it's the correct figure, definitely go ahead and pick them up. Definitely go ahead and get this guy, get some of the other guys too. I think I might also go in on like the Sideswipe or maybe the Mirage. Probably, maybe, depends on if I have the money for it. Yeah, I think I'm just rambling at this point. So anyway, this has been the Transformers War for Cybertron trilogy Netflix version of Hotlink, Heatstroke, and Heartburn. I have been Ray Recall. Y'all have been awesome. And I will see y'all in the next video review. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one. Peace.